For that lasting change, today's live is really what matters most. Welcome to day 12. We are in our final day of the live series, and we have traversed through so many different themes and so many different energies. You know, we had our highest vibe day, which was the joy day. Even I wonder how many of you made it through the introduction of joy. I know it brought a lot of smile to people's faces, and I think it triggered a lot of people too. And yesterday's energy was a bit softer, as is today, because today is both. It's two different energies that are saying, go within, but I still wanted to show up. Remember, showing up was the theme of yesterday's live, and I had every right and choice to just decide to do this tomorrow because I'm in the first days of my cycle, and it's also the new moon. And so both of those energies are always asking us to go within, right? That time to really reflect and be still and silent and in relaxation. And even in today's 44 days of abundance, I shared on this topic how when we actually honor when it's a cycle to rest, we receive even more abundance because we honor the flow of energy. And based on today, hi Sue Allen, I'm seeing some of you sign on. And of course, feel free to share anything you like. Hi, Sonia. As I'm live, feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to share anything you like. I do read your comments, and if you're catching the replay, you can share them there as well. And I'll respond in your comments since today's the last video live of this 12-day series. And I do recommend, if you're finding this one for the first time, definitely go back and watch all 12 days. And remember, everything I'm sharing, you innately know. Your higher wisdom knows all of this, and it just serves as beautiful, loving reminders. I decided that I wanted to offer this gift during this time of the holidays, during this time of the transition of the year, because anytime we walk through these portals, right, we had two powerful portals. We had the solstice portal as we've now stepped in towards the light. And then we traverse the darkest days of the year. And then now coming up, we have New Year's, which I love that because it's a day and a time for us to commit to more, to greater, to refine ourselves, how we're showing up in the world, to relook at our goals, relook at how we want to be and show up and create in this next year. And today I wanted to talk about the power of continuity. And at first I thought of naming this the power of consistency. However, I don't always believe in consistency, especially if you're someone that loves having surprise things happen in your life and you love to really honor energy versus, I would say, more like feminine creation versus masculine creation, right? Because consistency can really be like having to show up all the time even when you don't want to, whereas I find that there's a way for both. There's a way for the masculine structure and the feminine structure to show up together, and I feel like that has to do with continuity. So for example, I could have decided that every single day at the same time I was going to go live. But I felt like that didn't honor the truth of my energy and the truth of what wanted to come through. So within the structure of a 12-day series, I decided that I'm going to show up every day for 12 days. And it just so happens that I received my moon in this time period where usually I take the day completely off. And like I said, I almost considered it because I definitely feel lower energy because that's naturally what happens. Women are losing energy, chi, through the blood, right? And I actually believe that in the new earth paradigm, all women are meant to receive those personal days for the first 1, 2, 3 days, however long she feels she needs. Sometimes I feel very creative. Sometimes I feel more introverted. This one's definitely more introverted. And as I mentioned, it felt really important to follow the continuity of the 12 days in a row. because I really wanted to complete this series before we crossed the new year. And I could have did it tomorrow, but with the New Year's Eve energy, it felt like, nope, honor it, show up today. And I rested, and I even took like a little nap before I came on, and here I am. And that's what I mean by having the masculine and the feminine energies and way of creating come together, because you can have the structure of the 12 days of lives, right? But then the flexibility of honoring when the energy feels most aligned to say yes and go live. And that's more of the feminine energy, honoring when that's the ripest. And the reason why continuity is so important is it's the thing that creates lasting change. So an example of that would be like, let's say for the new year, you decided you were going to get into the best shape of your life. If you went to the gym one time, that would be that action that helps to solidify that timeline like we talked about in day 10. And the thing that really creates the lasting change is when you continue. That continuity of action. Yeah, you might get a bit sore going to the gym one day, but that won't create the lasting change in your body. There needs to be continuity of action. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be 3 times a week. It could be every other day. It could be 4 days a week, and every week is a different 4 days, but some form of a continuity of a change in action, a new type of action, that's the thing that's going to get you results. And similarly, like let's say if you are a conscious creator online and you use social media as a platform to share your gifts with the world, if you show up and post one time, or you're deciding you're going to launch your new business and you show up and post one time, yeah, so people will see that you have a new account or that you have an account, but it's with that continuity, you also build trust. And you actually build something solid. It's like saying, okay, I want to build a house. And then you put one brick. And then it's like, okay. Or you do just the external structure. There needs to be that continuity of action to follow through to create whatever you're creating to fruition. And you keep acting. It doesn't have to be the same time every day. It doesn't have to be the same action every day. It's just some form of action in the direction of your dreams. That's really about creating your dreams into reality, that continuity that you walk. And that's you walking that highest timeline, you walking the timeline that you wish to create. And that's why having that mentorship, that container that is supportive of whatever it is you wish to create. Of course, you can do it on your own, and in the moments of wobble, in the moments of doubt, in the moments of, I don't really feel like it, because you may not feel like it every single day. That's totally human nature. But having that accountability is so key, right? So if you want to get into the best shape of your life, that's why you would then hire a trainer, right? If you wanted to completely revamp your life, or make sure you stay at the top of your game, you're going to hire that mentor coach. And so many of us have so many different avenues of support, especially if you're here with a big mission. You're going to have help in multiple ways. And it's not really help like you need it. It's like, of course, it's so much better to be supportive. When we think of like top athletes, when we think of people in their A game, people who are really changing the world, their support team is so diverse. Right? You don't just have like one person helping you, right? No. And it goes in many different arenas. Like I know there's been times in my life where it's like the size of my team grew, and having the physical support as well as the emotional, as well as the energetic, right? And also for different things, like for my home or for myself, in terms of coaching, or for myself in terms of energy work, or even physical. I was getting 1 to 2 massages a week, right? So there's so many different types of support to keep us in our A game, at the top of our game. And when we realize, and this is, I feel, for expansion and for those who are really here to reach a lot of people, and especially for my high performing entrepreneurs, your reach expands based on the level and the amount and the quality of support that you have. So some of our greatest investments in ourselves is what we can do to help grow, maintain, keep our energy. And that comes through delegation. So that's like the support we receive through like our team and tasks and actions that we don't have to necessarily do, as well as what we receive personally for that self-care, for that keeping us at the cutting edge of our innovation, keeping us in the energy and frequency that's higher so that we have the energy to do what we wish to do, take all the actions we wish to take. And then also that space that we go to be held. And so that's why the mentorship space, the healing space, is a never-ending space, and we can receive so many different types. Like there's no two, I want to say like professionals or healers or facilitators is a good word. There's no two facilitators that are alike. And ideally you want to work and have that support team. You know, I call them like the Earth Angels team. And my support team has always been so incredible, and I feel the reason how I've been able to evolve, expand at the rate that I have. And also to stay in that energy that keeps me wanting to create from a space of abundance versus the burnout, the push, the force that I have to do it, anything that's other than overflowing. Actually, today I was sharing with my beloved that really like my 3 words and spaces from which I source that's so important for me is overflow, pleasure, and spaciousness. So anything that can support me in that, that's really important for me. That's high value for me. For me, that's abundance. And for everyone, that could be different. For some people, it's ease, joy, and flow. For some people, it could be, it's different for everyone. You know, and I really invite you to connect with, okay, you as a creator, you as someone who's designing your life intentionally, your work, your relationships, even your households, like every aspect of what you create, what is the essence, the energy with which you want to infuse your creations? And then you want to always act in continuity with that. So more important than just acting is making sure that it's in alignment with the energy and the values that matter to you and what you wish to create. And so we're constantly navigating our values, right? Like I was sharing, for me, it's so important to definitely follow through and show up and have that continuity. Like we said, today is day 12. While as a feminine being, as a feminine creator, really honoring my cycle and taking those first days off. So I definitely took the first 24 hours off. And so now I'm in however many hours, I guess like 36 plus 40 hours or so of when I received my moon time. And so there's that too. It's like taking that into consideration and then just doing whatever I needed to do to say like, okay, now's the time, and not forcing it. Even my beloved earlier was like, okay, you're going to go live now? I'm like, no, not yet. And he said, what about now? I'm like, no, not yet. Right? I really need to feel the energy and feel when it's the time. And so eventually, late in the evening, here it's 10:39, it was like, okay, now I will. And really honoring my timing, while still honoring the values of the continuity. And so it's really that marriage of the masculine and feminine energies, which when we're operating in our androgyny and in our enlightenment, it's the marriage of both. I definitely, whether I'm coaching men or women or guiding men or women, I always talk about the marriage of the masculine and feminine. And though I'm partial to, I like to create life more from the feminine energetics because I feel like that's more a new paradigm structure, and it really takes into account what's true, and really, instead of just like forcing, pushing, making things happen, it really honors our divine timing the feminine way. But it's really the marriage of both, right? So you can still honor the continuity and do it in the feminine way. And that's the thing that is going to create the lasting change in your life. And so I thank you all for tuning in over these 12 days. And I'd also like to share that if you're watching this before the 31st, before the end of the year, I have my 3 year-end specials as well as the holiday bundle that end up expiring on the 31st at midnight. And so you can still get into those. The holiday bundles is really geared at relationships and how to support you in having the most beautiful relationships, because oftentimes during the holiday time, it can highlight where there's still space for us to grow in our relationships, because we often see our family, and if you are with or without a beloved, it can highlight certain things in that time period. And so this is a way for you to do the inner work to then be and have that reflection of the most beautiful relationships. And then the 3 year-end specials, I felt like, what can I create that is so powerful and so generous that's like, yes, I need to get in there. And so I decided to do 3 different tiers. And so the highest tier is 1 year of one-to-one with me at 50% off. And so that's just such a beautiful experience. And the painful bonus is a personal retreat with me. And so that's worth it alone. And then I decided to do a mid-tier for my new women's mastermind that's going to begin on January 11th. And I offered a pre-launch for that. And so any of you ladies that are wanting the mixture of the group work with a monthly one-to-one, and you receive my all-access pass to all my courses, all my codes, that's for the women's mastermind. And then the last offer is the all-access pass, where you get 70% off access to all of my courses, all of my ascension codes, my abundance codes, and it's really everything. And so if you're wanting support in this new year, all of these bundles and specials are incredible. And then of course, if you see this after that time, message me. We can absolutely create a bespoke, a very specifically guided and created package or bundle for you that is exactly for what you need it. And so I send you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you on the Instagram. Big kiss to you, and bye for now.